Welcome to the Whiteboard What Is series. Today we're going to be talking about encryption. We'll talk about how encryption is important to cybersecurity, give you a basic example of encryption, and go over the types of encryption that are used in everyday computing. So, what is encryption? Encryption is basically the process of taking plain or clear text and camouflaging it or obfuscating it so that people can't read it. Think back in World War II days when the Allies are sending messages and you don't want the Germans to be able to understand them. They were encrypting those using a cipher so that the Germans wouldn't be able to figure out what the plans they were sending are. And it's similar to how we use computers today. So what encryption does is it takes a key, and the key is basically an algorithm or a cipher that turns a set of data into something slightly different. Right? We normally refer to this as turning plain text into ciphertext. So in this example we're going to go through, we're going to turn plain text hello into ciphertext of IFMMP. Right? So the plain text, we all read it, we can know what's going on. The ciphertext, without the key, I wouldn't really know what's happening. So for this plain text, we're going to go ahead and run it through a key. And my key or my encryption is going to be called next letter. I'm going to use that to encrypt. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the letter and I'm going to go to the next letter of the alphabet, and that'll be my ciphertext. So I'll turn my H into an I, an E into an F, an L into an M, an L into an M, and an O into a P. So I'll have my ciphertext of IFMNP. To decrypt it, I would use my decryption key if we were using asymmetric encryption. And that would just be using the previous letter to decrypt. So if you sent me IFMMP, I would say, I'm going to decrypt this, and that's going to turn into hello. So that's how encryption works. The two basic types of encryption are symmetric and asymmetric. In symmetric, we use the same key. We use the exact same algorithm to encrypt that we do to decrypt. This is called, same symmetric encryption. Most examples in computer, we're using what's called asymmetric encryption, where I have a different key to encrypt the data than you have to decrypt it. This is important so that the public can share information with private entities such as banks without everybody else knowing how to decrypt their data. If you go on to a website or onto your online banking, you'll probably notice HTTPS on your browser, which means it's secure. It's using an encryption methodology. Your encryption methodology is how you're going to encrypt it, and then the bank, of course, is going to use a different method to decrypt it so that other people who are also on that website don't have access to your data. So this is very important in cybersecurity for multiple reasons. One, it keeps your data safe when you're talking to other computers or browsing the web, checking your email. And two, it allows us to share sensitive items freely across the internet without fear of leaking those. Encryption is also important for data at rest. If you had student records or payroll records and your hard drive was encrypted, if someone hacked your computer and stole your hard drive, they wouldn't be able to get to that data without breaking the encryption key. So in conclusion, there are two types of encryption used widely in computers. Those are symmetric, which is same key, and asymmetric. Encryption uses a cipher to change plain text into ciphertext, and then it uses that same or a different cipher, depending on the type of encryption, to decrypt that. Thanks for tuning in today. Signing out.